And welcome back. And yet again, Zillow downgraded their housing market forecast over the next 12 months. They actually downgraded their forecast for home sales this year, as well as home prices over the next 12 months. And this, by the way, is a big downgrade from their previous forecast that was published about a month ago. So in today's video, I'm gonna share all the details with you guys. And before that, whether you're looking to buy or sell a house in virtually any parts of the United States, then check out that link below, which is homeandmoney.com/Jason to get started today. And with that said, let's begin today's video. This was just published on the 19th of September. And Zillow says here, they're forecasting for home values, which is different, of course, compared to the median sold price or median asking prices. We're talking about home values. Zillow forecasts for home values and home sales to be revised down in August as the market continued to slow and inflation pressure remained very strong. So they provide some real estate market predictions for home values through August 2023, and of course, home sales for the remainder of the year. So here's what they're forecasting here. Zillow expects that home value growth to slow considerably over the next 12 months. From the current rate of 14.1% annual growth rate to only 1.4% growth over the next coming year. So in other words, Zillow is forecasting for home values only to increase by 1.4% over the next 12 months, which is drastically different compared to the 14.1% annual growth rate we have right now. And as I mentioned, this is their fifth consecutive decrease in their housing market forecast over the next 12 months. Because their previous forecast, which was actually published about a month ago, they were calling for a 2.4% increase in home values over the next 12 months at that time. And speaking of annual home price growth right now at 14.1% compared to 1 year ago, here's where they got that figure from. This is their August 2022 market report that was published on the 19th of this month. Here's what's kind of funny here, or funny depending on how you look at this. It says a typical home value fell by 0.3% from July. So they're saying that home values fell by 0.3% from July this year compared to August of this year, the largest monthly decline since 2011. Obviously, this is kind of a joke, right? Where we have a decrease by 0.3%, which is barely a decrease compared to 1 month ago, because according to Zillow here, they say that home values increased by 14.1% from a year ago, but they have increased by 43.8% since August of 2019, obviously before this pandemic here. So it's saying here that home values decreased by only 0.3%, but over the past 3 years, home values have increased by 44%. Obviously, this is a step in the right direction where home values decreased last month, but a 0.3% decrease compared to a 44% gain over the past 3 months is basically nothing. In any case, they're forecasting for home values to only increase by 1.4% through August 2023, which again is a significant downward revision from their previous forecast that was published about a month ago. Here, by the way, is their previous forecast that was published on August 18th of this year, because they were forecasting for home values to increase by 2.4% from July 2022 to July 2023. And it says here, this is a significant update from last month's forecast for a 6.9% increase in home values from June 2022 through June 2023. So they basically went from 6.9%, which is their 12-month forecast, to a 2.4% forecast. Now they're only calling for a 1.4% increase in home values over the next 12 months. So what I'm getting at here, this is a big downward revision over the next 12 months because they were calling for a 6.9% increase in home values. Now it's only 1.4%. And now Zillow's housing market predictions for 2022 is now calling for 5.1 million existing home sales in 2022. And this is a downward revision from their expectation last month, where they called for 5.3 million existing home sales for 2022. And I made a separate video regarding that. I also stated that their forecast for 5.3 million was a little bit ambitious. My personal forecast is also for 5 to 5.1 million existing home sales in 2022. And I'll share some information here regarding that here in just a little bit. And it says here their forecast for 5.1 million home sales. This would be a 16.4% decrease from 2021, which was the strongest calendar year for home sales since 2006. So when looking at their forecast for 5.1 million existing home sales in 2022, I want to give you some additional information regarding this to see what's needed in order to get there. So I actually did some calculations for you guys, just like I did last month. I got really nerdy on you guys. So here's an Excel spreadsheet. Here's non-seasonally adjusted existing home sales per the National Association of Realtors. And this is for all the home sales so far this year, so January through August. So year to date, we have 3,577,000 existing home sales so far this year, according to the National Association of Realtors. And I pulled these numbers from the National Association of Realtors website here for non-seasonally adjusted home sales. So these are actual numbers, the actual number of home sales or the actual number of existing home sales by month. And here's the total number right here by month for January through August of this year, which I plugged in right here. So again, we have just under 3.5 million home sales so far this year. So Zillow's forecast, which is actually my forecast as well, which I actually stated last month, their forecast is calling for 5.1 million home sales. So we need 1,523 home sales for the remainder of the year, which of course is September through December, in order to get to 1.5 million home sales for the year. So on average, we would need 380,750 home sales on average for September through December of this year in order to get to 5.1 million home sales for 2022. So what's needed is approximately 380,000 home sales for September through December of this year in order to get to 5.1 million, which is Zillow's forecast. Now, given the data we have right now, I think this is entirely possible to get there because we haven't seen levels this low since January and February of this year when we had 352,000 home sales. I also think it's smart for Zillow to downgrade their forecast for home sales from 5.3 to 5.1 million because take a look at this, because if we were to be a 5.3 million, here's how many home sales we need for the remainder of the year. We would need 430,000 per month for the remainder of the year in order to get to 5.3 million home sales. So I think it's really smart for Zillow to downgrade this to 5.1 million right now, which would equate to 380,000 for the remainder of the year. This, by the way, is a significant decrease from 1 year ago, though, because take a look at this. In 2021, we had 6.12 million home sales. And at 5.1 million, that's more or less 1 million fewer home sales compared to 2021, or a 16% drop. Also at 5.1 million, this is fewer home sales we saw in 2019 as well, because in 2019, we had 5.3 million home sales. But I'd love to hear from you guys as well. What do you guys think about their forecast for 5.1 million home sales, existing home sales in 2022, and also for home values that only increased by 1.4%? Please comment below. And going back to Zillow's housing market forecast here, they note their downward revisions to home values as well as home sales is due to recent indicators showing that home buyers are backing out. And as I note right here, some of these indicators we're seeing right now, and I made separate videos regarding these, is we're seeing a decrease in pending home sales, down 22% on a year-over-year basis. Also, we're seeing fewer home showings by real estate agents showing houses for sale to their clients or to the home buyers. Also, we're seeing fewer mortgage applications for home purchases. Those are down about 30% compared to 1 year ago, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association. We're also seeing an increase of days in the market, so it's taking longer for home sellers to sell their houses. And also, the share of price drops is at an all-time record high, according to Redfin. And Zillow goes on to say the following here. They say affordability challenges still remain here, and these challenges brought on by higher mortgage rates this year are a key driver of cooling home buying demand this year. So much so that average mortgage rates right now have increased to 6.7%, the highest rates we've seen since 2008. That's according to the Mortgage News Daily as of today. 1 year ago, average rates were 3.10%, so that's a 3.6 percentage point increase, or 360 basis point increase in 1 single year. Also, according to Investopedia.com, average rates are at 6.73% right now. And the direct impact for home buyers right now is that compared to 1 year ago, your monthly housing payment would be $767 more per month to basically buy the same house now compared to 1 year ago, which is a 64% increase in your monthly mortgage payment. And with that said, please comment below your biggest takeaways from today's video. Also, if you guys got any value to this video whatsoever, then please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. Hope you guys have an awesome day and look forward to seeing you on the next video.